Hey guys, it's Matt King, and I'm going to show you our professional high-ticket funnel, and I'm going to show you what all of these pages are and how to work with this specific funnel. So hopefully all your questions will be answered. If not, of course, get in touch with me, and we'll go from there. First of all, the first two pages are registration pages here. The WJ stands for Webinar Jam. The second one here stands for GoToWebinar. So if you're using one of these two programs, then this template will work for you. If you are using Stealth Seminar, then you will actually delete both of these and you will use Stealth Seminar to host your registration process, and then the webinar will run inside of Stealth Seminar, and then you will drive traffic to your scheduler, which is right here, so don't delete that one. Okay, now if you're running a live webinar with GoToWebinar, you're going to do it here. The webinar will run inside of GoToWebinar. You will again drive traffic to the scheduler. If you're using Webinar Jam, the webinar will run. They will register inside of the inside of the Webinar Jam system, and then inside of the webinar is where the actual webinar takes place, and then you'll drive traffic to the scheduler right here. So they'll go through the scheduler to the application page, and then they'll be thanked. And of course, that would be the last time that they see anything inside of your funnel. From here on down, with the script, the order form, the confirmation page, these pages are for you or for a client if you're doing this for a client. And you're going to go there, you can use the script just to kind of go through that and then go to the order form. And because this is designed to get somebody on the phone and sell them a higher ticket product, what you're going to do is you are going to be the one that goes to that order form. So make your order form URL something that you're going to remember. Like you're going to go into the publishing area, you're going to set your custom URL. So say it's myurl.com/order. Make it something easy for you to remember, okay? So you can quickly get to that, and then you put your products in there. So once you're on that order form, you're going to come up here to the products tab, and you're going to put in whatever your products are. I've got a couple in here. Just for demonstration purposes, this is not one that I'm using. This is the exact funnel that you've purchased from the ClickFunnels marketplace. So let's look at the webinar. The GoToWebinar one is pretty straightforward. Well, let's look at the Webinar Jam page right now. That's this one here at the top with the WJ, and we're going to jump into the editing area. Now, this one's probably the most complicated, and I do recommend some split tests, maybe, make a few changes here and there. But as far as what I will do, if you need my help after purchasing this, because it is kind of a pricier one, I will help you do some minor customizations. And that'll include changing out your headline, the background image here, the picture here, some copy. We're not going to write your copy for you, but if you know what your product is and you understand the market, then hopefully you'll have some copies, some bullets. You can provide those for us. We'll go in and make it look good. Okay, that's what we're going to do with this. We'll change this out. Change out your testimonials. These are testimonials down here, so use some testimonials that you have. And now let's talk about these custom JavaScript and HTML sections here. This is for Webinar Jam. From Webinar Jam, you will be given a code specifically from Webinar Jam. So let's look at where that's coming from inside of the system. I just happen to have it up here. Let's go to my webinars. Let's say these are the different webinars that you have in your webinar system. So every webinar, you have to have an account with them. Go to your links for whichever one it is that you have, and it's going to give you some embed code. What I want you to do is take that code. It's going to be broken up into two sections. There's going to be a script area, and there's probably going to be an HTML section. So if you can, break them apart, put this into a text document. The other thing you could do, and I'll show you what to do right here. So what you're going to want to do, first of all, is copy that, and then we're going to go back to this. We're going to go into our custom JavaScript. Back when we created this, the JavaScript and the HTML had to be separate. Okay, now that does not need to be that way. Okay, so both of these make up the one button that actually appears when we hit the preview button. So both of those make up this Claim My Spot Now button. Okay, so let's go back here. You could actually delete one of these. One of these is script. So let's look at this. Go to Open Code. Here is your HTML. So you're going to take that code that you just got from Webinar Jam, take the HTML part of it, and put it here. Okay? And you're going to come down to the next one. You're going to open the code, and you're going to put this script part of it there. Like I said, now you can have the HTML and the script, the JavaScript together. So if you want to delete one of these, that's okay, and then just use one and put the entire chunk of code in there. That's the same issue here with the, there's two things here for the sole purpose of having one countdown. So you don't need that anymore. But at the same time, you don't have to replace this either. So if I were you, I would not mess with that code. You can, but I can't guarantee what's going to happen with that. We had to pay to have that custom created, so I wouldn't know how to fix it except for to put the original code back in there. Over here is just some real simple code that puts the date in there. It just puts the current date. I wouldn't mess with that either. So all that's doing really is putting the current date in there. It says Friday, March 24th. This system is designed to run your webinar on the top of the hour, every hour, 24 hours a day. So once you have this in place, your webinar will run all the time. Of course, you have to have, in Webinar Jam, you have to go through and set your schedule up to, go through the editing process here, and you have to set up your, let's see if it takes a minute here, presenters, configuration, webinar schedules, come down here. And make sure that, I just happen to have a couple extra ones, but you don't need all these. You could actually have an empty schedule and then just run the just-in-time schedule right here. So say yes, enable it down here, next available session, every 00, so on top of the hour, displayed schedules. I've got it displaying the 2, but you would want to say don't display any schedule other than just in time. Okay, those are the ones that you want to run. I just happen to be running a couple of the first 2 because of the market for this particular webinar, but you can set that up however you want, but make sure it's running at the very least on top of the hour. Okay, so back here, that's pretty much it for this. Do keep in mind that that code is down here at the bottom as well. Like I said, you shouldn't have to do any changes to this code on the bottom unless you want to change the verbiage here where it says claim my spot. You can change that out. That's the only thing that I would recommend changing, and that would be in probably in the HTML section here. So that's going to be the top one, and you just come in here, change it to whatever you want it to say. Make sure that it's short enough to fit in there. Okay, same thing up here, the top section, open the code, click Claim My Spot Now. This one's actually a little bit longer because it's a longer section there. So that's it for this particular page. You'll want to go through and change out your headlines, change out any of this stuff that needs to be changed out, okay? Let's go back to here. We're just going to leave. I'm not going to make any changes because we want to keep the original. If you're not using GoToWebinar, get rid of it, okay? Just click the X, get rid of it. I'm not going to do that. The webinar registration will bypass the thank you page. The GoToWebinar page does not need anything really to be updated or changed. Let's look at it just to make sure. A lot of this code is the same, but what you will need to change is up here with the integrations. This is designed to use the actual pop-up inside, let's see, show the pop-up. This is designed to use the actual pop-up inside of ClickFunnels, okay? So it's going to take the information, and what you need to do is integrate this with Webinar Jam. So you're going to go to Integrations, here under settings, and then you're going to integrate. I don't have GoToWebinar even in my system here, but what you'll want to do is go in here and then set that up to integrate with GoToWebinar, okay? If you're using that method. If you're not, don't worry about it. In fact, just delete this whole thing, and that would actually just pretty much be it. Okay, so let's go back to the main page, make sure that we are covering down on all this stuff. Your scheduler, let's look at that real quick. All right, let's go to here. Coming in. We use a system called, let's see, for a navigator for this, schedule the online, we use Schedule Once, and You can use whatever scheduler you want. You don't have to use Schedule Once. I'm not pushing you to do that, but whatever you do use, because we've used a couple different ones, and sometimes we have trouble getting some of them to embed without a iframe of some sort. And iframes don't really work the way that we want them to, so we use this, but it's a custom JavaScript. So come here, grab your code from Schedule Once, paste it here, and the way that that would end up looking is like this. It's well, hopefully it comes up there. Sometimes it's a little slow, but I do have slow internet here. And basically, you can go in and schedule your appointment. Try and have them schedule. Don't put 5 weeks in advance. You want them to schedule their appointment quickly. So just do 1 or 2 days there. And that's it. Put some testimonials down here. Make sure you're switching out these videos and testimonials. You don't want to use what we put in here. So make sure that they're doing the things that need to do. Make sure you've gone down and checked each one of these buttons and make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing. So once they complete this schedule, it should, like I said, the way that it's supposed to work is that they would actually be redirected to the Wufoo page, which is where they're going to put in an application form. Again, Wufoo code needs to be plugged in here, or whatever form code. There's a lot of different form programs out there, but we're using Wufoo. Make sure to go in here, open the code editor, and put your information in here that came out of Wufoo. Okay, I'm not going to go into how that works, but I do recommend looking into a couple different ones, find out what works best for you. Okay, and the way that would look, this one looks pretty schnifty, or it did. Let's see. I actually have my project assessment in here right now, but it would look like this or very similar to this. Okay, so let's get out of this and make sure that we are still on track here. That would go to a thank you page. If you set the redirect to go to the thank you page, we put a very, very basic thank you page in here. But if you want to use this, you're more than welcome. The next step, like I said, is for you to get them on the phone. So they've scheduled an appointment. You set up your notifications to notify you that, or your client, that you have something in the works and there's a time. So now you're going to get on the phone with them. You're going to go to the call script. If you don't want a call script, if you have your own call script that you use, by all means delete this. I just put it in there so you had something to work with. And then the order form. The call script actually plugs right on through to the order form, but this is for you. This isn't for the customer, so it doesn't have to be pretty. But let's take a quick look at it. It's very basic, so it's going to collect the information that you need. Like I said, you're going to be the one taking this information from your customer. So you're going to select. Maybe you make a half price deal at $4,000, or maybe you have a different product at $10,000, or whatever the product price is. Put them in here and then set that up in the products tab, which would be back here under products. Okay. And then if you want to set up an email or something, come in here and set up an email, add new email. We didn't add anything in here because sometimes they don't come through in the marketplace. So plus everybody's going to create their own email anyway, right? From there, it's going to go to a confirmation page. This does not need to be anything fancy. Again, you're going to be the one seeing this. Occasionally, it could be the possibility, if the situation is right, where somebody says, look, I can't do this right now. Can you send me the order form page? I'll take care of it. If you believe them, then yes. You can, by all means, send them the page and take care of that on your own, and they'll see this stuff. So we wanted this the order form page and the confirmation to at least look professional and halfway decent. Just make sure you're going through and taking care of like the logos, the background, whatever it is that you want. Now, assuming that you guys have a members access area after they sign up, then that's what these are for down here. Members access and a members only page. These are very basic templates. We just threw them in here so that you would have something to use to get in there and start using right away. So this stuff is not included in the basic price. This is for you to set up and add your information into. If you do need help with this, let me know. We can assess your needs and make an assessment as to what we would charge in order to get you guys up and running. This should work pretty close as long as you pop that code in there for Webinar Jam, as long as you pop the code in for a scheduler and you pop the code in for your application. This is pretty much going to be yours, and make sure that you change out your pictures and that kind of stuff. ClickFunnels is pretty easy to use, and it's all templated. You can change the backgrounds and all that good stuff, and it'll be a real simple setup for you, as opposed to paying somebody thousands of dollars and taking 8 weeks to build this system out, because we did spend a lot of time building this, and we've worked with a lot of high-ticket clients who we've coached through the process of building this system, and it takes 8 to 12 weeks for a lot of people to figure this out. So if you pick this up on the marketplace, then this is going to save you a lot of time and probably a lot of money, depending on how you go about having this set up. So that's it. If you have any questions, of course, hit me up by email at kingmattj@hotmail.com, and I'll help you out. Okay, thanks.